When people remember my story, they often recall the moment I entered the king's court uninvited, the act that could have cost me my life. But few remember what came before that moment: the waiting, the silence, the restraint. You see, courage isn't always found in loud defiance or bold action. Sometimes courage hides in the quiet, in the pauses, in the prayers whispered behind closed doors. Here's the main principle: strategic patience often precedes divine breakthroughs, and silence, though misunderstood by many, can be a powerful spiritual strategy, not a sign of weakness. When I stood before King Ahasuerus, I didn't rush to speak. Though my heart burned with urgency for my people, I invited him first to a banquet, and then another. Why? Because discernment told me that timing mattered. As written in Esther 5:4-8, I waited before revealing my true request. I allowed space for God to move in unseen ways, in the king's heart, in the counsel he heard, in the atmosphere around us. I learned something sacred in that season. Silence doesn't mean God is absent. It means he's arranging something beyond your sight. First point: silence gives space for God to move in unseen ways. There are moments when your silence is not empty, it's sacred. It becomes the room where God walks, where angels work, where hearts shift without a single word spoken. In my waiting, the Lord was stirring the king's spirit, preparing his favor before I ever opened my mouth. So if you find yourself in a season of silence, don't mistake it for inaction. God may be working behind curtains you cannot see. Second point: strategic patience is a form of spiritual warfare. Patience disarms the enemy, who thrives on impulse and fear. The adversary wants you to react, to move without wisdom, to speak without clarity, to act without divine timing. But when you wait, you remind darkness that your trust is not in yourself, but in the sovereign hand of God. Your patience becomes your armor. Your stillness becomes your strength. Third point: wisdom is knowing the right time to act and the right time to wait. Every door does not need to be kicked open. Some must be unlocked by favor, and favor often comes through waiting, not because God is slow, but because he is perfect. In time, I found that one divinely timed word could accomplish more than 1,000 rushed speeches. So, if you are in a moment where God seems silent, if your prayers echo back without response, if you feel ready to speak but heaven whispers, "Not yet," remember this: the pause before the breakthrough is holy ground. Be patient in preparation, because while you wait, God is arranging the stage, aligning hearts, positioning opportunities, preparing your moment to speak. And when that moment comes, your words will carry the weight of heaven. Your voice will not merely be heard, it will shift destiny. I am Esther, a woman who learned that courage is not always in the shout of battle, but sometimes in the stillness before it. And when the silence breaks, let your words be fire, lit by patience, guided